In this video, what we're going to do is talk about how you could be naive in your 20s as an Asian American and what are some pitfalls that you should look out for and try to avoid. Here is my attempt to be more honest about some of the experiences that you would have as an Asian American and some things that I think your parents and even at school, they don't really quite teach you. These are the real life lessons that you might go through. My own personal experience, if you can't tell, I'm actually 35 now, and about 10 years ago, I was part of, well, I'm still am in the military, but I just started my military career, fairly remote place in New Mexico. It wasn't the type of job that I wanted or the location, and essentially what happened was I found myself digging myself into a really deep mental hole where I was being really negative. I was, in some points, feeling like high degree of anxiety about the situation, and I wanted to escape to a point where I think I did contemplate killing myself, but it wasn't, I didn't take action on it. You think about it sometimes. Okay, the very first one is, in terms of being naive, is about the job. So one thing that you might be experiencing right now if you're in your mid-20s is you find yourself picking a career and what do you call it? I really can't think about it. Like the actual subject or field that you really want to study. And you realize now that it was the wrong choice because the job itself, you finally get to the job. Let's just say that you're doing engineering. Studied for 4 years, you spent tens of thousands of dollars, now you're in debt. And then you now find out that you're in a location that you don't want to be and that the job is actually rather unsatisfying. Okay, the second one is life skills. You might find that you lack in basic life skills. So that includes how to clean up after yourself, hygiene. How do I spell hygiene? I think it's I-E-N-E. Routines, I would say, that get you on the right path. So if you lack life skills and then you're thrusted into an environment where you're no longer with your family who help to take care of some of that, then you might also start to realize, oh shit, I don't know it. Like I can't take care of myself. You also have social support. So you might find that right now you lack social support, which is if you're coming from a traditional Asian family, most of the time you're surrounded by not just your immediate family for your parents and your siblings, but maybe your cousins, your aunts and uncles and grandparents. And then you move away to a different area where you are largely by yourself on your own. You might have a roommate, but it's not the same type of family support. And without that social support, you might feel more in danger. You are constantly scanning for things that are a threat to you. That could be including the job or the coworkers or the boss. And so it shifts a part of your mind where you're just a little bit more cautious about what could hurt you because you no longer have that social support to rely on. What happens? Like, what should you do if you're already invested tens of thousands of dollars in years into studying a subject that you might not like? You also don't learn how to build social support in school. A lot of times it's just haphazard. You might find friends and you might not be. It just depends more on whether you're an extroverted or introverted type of person. If you're extroverted, likely you are having an easier time meeting people. These are the things that you could start evaluating and doing an audit on your life. Right now, if you're feeling negative emotions like depression, feeling lost, how you can at least start scanning if these things are true about your situation. So I think generally what that means, if these are the source of some of the negative emotions, how do you go about resolving them or relieving them? I think when you talk about your job, you realize that you may not be at the top of your company. Expectation falls short where you are maybe middle of the pack. That can be very devastating for a lot of people, especially for Asian Americans who have a higher expectation about how much success they should have. So the antidote is attitude. You can see that. To work on your attitude, develop a positive attitude about your situation. One, to accept this is the new situation in your life, which is I'm not at the top, I'm 50%. And there's a lot of things that I don't like about the job, but you start looking at great attitude, which is I can still make this work for me. So that stems from the mind. This is something completely that you control. You say to yourself now that I can still be in the top 20% of my career field if I study really hard, I take this seriously, and I go out and ask people, how do I get better? Life skills. There's not a whole lot of way around it. Again, you have to say to yourself, I am not great at life skills. I don't always brush my teeth. I don't always take a shower. And I don't even do the laundry all the time. And I have used this underwear 3 times now. Start doing it. I mean, there's other ways around it possibly. Like if you have a roommate that loves cleaning, you're just gonna have to suck it up and you have to start taking care of yourself. So that would be setting the right morning routine for yourself, waking up earlier, going to sleep earlier, taking away your phone at a certain time. So before 7, you can't use your phone. After 10 p.m., you can't use your phone. Things like that. You set basic rules for yourself. This takes practice. That if you're an introverted person, which is likely the case because, you know, Chinese or Asian American, our culture is just a little bit more inward looking. We do a lot of reflection, so we're not the most boisterous or like talkative people. You can still meet people, but what it takes is being proactive. You might be overthinking a lot of things and be like, oh, this person doesn't want to talk to me. The mentality to have is actually, how can I be more proactive? Either meet people or start to understand them better so that they can understand me better. Maybe even Facebook and meeting some people. Can I join a group at work? Maybe there's just a couple of coworkers that are around my same age, have the same interests. So proactivity, which is to say, I am looking for friends. I would love to exchange contact information so that we can hang out and help each other. To be proactive when it comes to meeting people. That is what I've found to be the 3 hurdles when it came to being a younger 20-year-old, very first job, away from family, and experiencing some of these negative emotions. And that was because of all these pieces of your life that fall apart a little bit. Find yourself in these situations, lacking life skills, lacking social support. Well, I will see you later. Peace out.